Hello everyone, welcome to this video series on factorials. So the introduction part we have seen. Now we in progress to a new concept which is on different factors of factorial and the index of greatest power or the highest exponent which a prime number can have in a given factorial. So these concepts we see in this video. So we'll start with the index of greatest power, that is also known as IGP in short. So highest exponent of any prime number p in any n factorial would be given by this relation. So we will come to this. How have we, arrived at this formula and on? We will see. So we'll see this concept through an example. So let us see now 15 factorial. We have to find the highest power of 2. So one process would be 15 I factorial. I can write as nothing but 15 into 14 into 13 into 12 into 11 into 10 into 9 into 8 into 7 into 6 into 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1, right? So this way we can write 15 factorial. So we have to find the highest power of 2. So it means we have to look at those numbers which are multiple of 2. So what are the multiples of 2? Multiples of 2 in this would be 14 into 12 into 10 into 8 into 6 into 4 into 2. These are the multiple of 2. And every number, so there are 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. So all these 7 numbers will give at least 1 2. So how many 2's we can get? So number of 2's, so that is at least 2 raised to power 7 number of 2's. Okay, now so meaning like if I cancel this with 2, so I can take 2 common here. So what remains is 7. I can take 2 common from 12 also. So it remains 6. I can take out 2 common from 10 also. So it will be 5. I can take out 2 from 8 also. It will remain as 4. Then I can take out 2 from 6. So it will be 3. From here if I take out 2 it will be 2, and from here it will be 1. So now see. And so how many 2 I took out? 2 to 4, 7 2. That is what 2 raised to power 7. Now, so what remains? So further multiple of 2. See, 7 is not a multiple of 2. 6 is a multiple of 2. Another 4 is multiple of 2. Then 2 is multiple of 2. That way. So here also, now 1 2 I can take out from here. Another 2 I can take out from here. And another 2 I can take out from here. So I can take out 3 2's from here. So 3 2 raised to power 3 numbers of, 3 numbers of additional 2's. And then again what remains is 3 2 1. So here also, so this is basically 2 square. And now multiple of would be another just 1 2. What remains here is only just 1 2, so I can take out 1 2. So here 2 raised to power 1. So how many total number of 2's is nothing but 7 plus 3 plus 1, right, which is 10. So this so from here I can say ki the maximum power which 2 can have in 15 factorial is 10, right? So IGP of 2 in 15 factorial is 10. This we can write. So this is the, I mean, most basic and rudimentary way of finding out the highest power of any prime number in a given factorial. But as you saw, this is a very tedious and prone to error. Error in terms of conceptual error as well as the calculation mistake also. So this cannot be the best method. So now we will look into some other methods. So see here, I mean, what is this? So this can be written as, I mean, here it was nothing but the multiple of first multiple of 2 raised to power 7. So this we can write as number of IGP of 2 in 15 factorial can be given as, this is greatest integer function. I'll explain this. 15 upon 2 plus 15 upon 2 square, which is 4, plus 15 upon 2 cube, plus 15 upon 2 raised to power 4, so on. Now see, this becomes 7.5. This becomes 15 by 4 is 3.75. 15 by 8 is 1 decimal something something. 15 by 16 would be 0 decimal something. So now this is a greatest integer function. Greatest integer function means that if greatest integer function denotes the greatest integer which is less than equal to x, right? X point yy. So if x point yy is a number, so greatest integer which is less than this number is nothing but x. For example, in this case, the greatest integer which is just less than 7.5 is 7. Same way here, 3.75, the greatest integer which is less than 3.75 is 3. Here 1.00, this is 1, and rest other numbers would be 0. That's all. So this will add. So from here we get 7 plus 3 plus 1, 11. Right? Let us see. I mean, has there been some mistake anywhere? So it is nothing but 15 by 2. This is 15 by 2 square, 15 by 2 cube. So 8. This will give 1 time. This will. Achha, here also this will be 1 only, right? Hmm. So this is same as what we had got here using the I mean, very conventional method. So basically what we are doing, we are simply dividing the number, given number, by the respective powers. First we'll start with 2, then 2 square, then 2 cube, then 2 4, and take the largest integral value of this such numbers. So here uh, doing that we got this. So this can further be, I mean, simplified into another method. So this was method 1, right? Method 1. This is method 2. Now method 3. Method 3 says कि you simply 15 is the number. So and we have to find the power of 2. So we'll start dividing by 2. So 2 will divide 15 7 times. Okay, 1 would be remainder. Then again further we divide 7. So it will be 2 will divide 7 3 times. There would be a remainder of 1. Further 2 will divide 3 1 times, and 1 would be remainder. And then 2 will divide 1 0 time, leaving 1 as remainder. So the greatest exponent of 2 would be nothing but sum of, I mean, ignore this number, sum of all the rest of the numbers, which is this rest of the quotients. So 7 plus 3 plus 1. So IGP, index of greatest power, is nothing but 7 plus 3 plus 1. This also gives 11. I mean, so this is very simple. I mean, we need not do anything. We just have to divide the way we divide in the base system, or way we have divided in this fashion in using in finding out the LCMs. So the same way we have to divide the number, writing the quotient and the remainder. We'll add on the quotients. We'll add on the successive quotients, and the sum of those quotients would be nothing but IGP, right? So this is the way. So basically what we are doing, if we have to find IGP of 15 factorial, so what basically is being done is nothing but 15 factorial. When we first we will divide 15 by 2, so we get 7, right? I mean, we'll take the largest integer value, then we will divide 7 by 2, it will be 3.5. We will take 3 largest integer value, then again we will divide 3 by 2, so it will be 1.5, so we will take 1. Now we will divide 1 by, so that will be 0, so and so on. So from here also we can do get 11 as answer. So there are four different ways. I mean, these two ways are same actually. Rather than, I mean, writing or dividing in notation, we are doing it mentally. First dividing 15 by 2 getting 7, then dividing 7 further by 2 getting 3, dividing 3 by 2 getting 1, and by dividing I means the quotient. So if we divide 3 by 2, we will get the quotient as 1. So thereby, for this is the way we I mean solve the question, which is based on finding the highest exponent or largest exponent of any prime number in any given factorial. So we now look to consolidate upon these concepts through few examples. Let us see. I mean, find the highest power of 2 in 100 factorial. So we have to find 2 raised to power n in 100 factorial such that n is maximum, right? So what we do, I mean, 100 factorial. So IGP, index of greatest power, would be nothing but, first we divide 100 by 2, it will be 50. Then 50 we divide by 2, 25 quotient. 25 by 2 quotient is 12. 12 by 2 quotient is 6. 6 by 2 quotient is 3. 3 by 2 quotient is 1. So this way we add 50 plus 25, 75, 87, 93, 96, 97. So 97 is the uh, solution. Or I mean, the same thing we could have done through this. I mean, since we have to find the power of 2, we'll start dividing by 2. So 2 fifth will divide 100 50 times, further 2 will divide 50 25 times, further 2 will divide 25 12 times, leaving 1 as a remainder. Then 2 will divide 12 6 times, 2 will divide 6 3 times, 2 will divide 3 1 time, leaving 1 as remainder. So what we have to do, we have to add on the quotients, right? So on the quotients here, if we add, this is nothing but same as what I have written here, 50 plus 25 plus 12 plus 6 plus 3 plus 1. So rather than doing this, I mean this, for if the numbers are small enough and the divisibility is easier, we can do it mentally also. So same, if we add here, I get 50 plus 25 plus 12 plus 6 plus 3 plus 1, which is nothing but 97. Then we'll see with the other variant also, method 2. I'm just a that's a variant only. What we will do, 100 by 2 factorial, then IGP, then 100 by 2 square, then 100 by 2 cube, then 100 by 2 4, then 100 by 2 5, plus 100 by 2 6. Now there's no point going further. I mean we can go, but 100 by 2 7, 2 raised to power 7 is 128. So 100 when divided by 128 will give a quotient of 0. So that is why, I mean, that is immaterial to going forward. So now 100 by 2 is 50, 100 by 4 is 25, 100 by 8 is 12. I mean we have to take the greatest integer function. 100 by 16 is 6, 100 by 32 is 96, so 3, 100 by 64 1. So this is what, and from here we can get 97 as answer. So this is the way, I mean, we'll find the highest power of any prime factor in n factorial. Now let us see, this question asks us to find the highest power of 3 in 50 factorial. So what we will do, we will, I just show this again through division method. So 3 will divide 16 times with 2 as remainder. Then again 3 will divide it 5 times, 1 as remainder. Then 3 will divide 5 1 times, 2 as remainder. So the IGP of 3 would be nothing but, we will add the on the quotients. So on the quotients addition is 16 plus 5 plus 1, which is nothing but 22, right? So this is the solution. We can try with other methods also, but I mean without even going into division we could have simply written 50 factorial. So IGP of 3 with nothing but, first we divide 50 by 3, so it is 16. Then 16 will be divided by 3, it will be 5. 5 will be divided by 3, quotient is 1. So same, I mean without even doing this division method, for easier numbers, smaller numbers, we can directly do and get the answer, right? So this is the process, right? Now we will see another concept. So far we have seen that how to find the index of highest power for any prime number. But what if the question is to find the highest power of a composite number? So I mean the net process I have written, that I explained through an illustration. Let us see, we have to find the highest power of 8 in 50 factorial, right? So 8 we know is nothing but 2 into 2 into 2, which is 2 cube, right? So first let us, I mean, find the IGP of 2 in 50 factorial. What would it be? 50 by 2 is 25, 25 by 2 is 12, 12 by 2 is 16, 6 by 2 is 3, 3 by 2 is 1. So here we get 37, 43, 47. So IGP of 2 is 47. So this means we can write 50 factorial as nothing but 2 raised to power 47 into some another number k which does not have any power of 2 or any multiple of 2. So this is the way we can write. Now see, can we not write this as 50 factorial is equal to 2 raised to power 3 raised to power 15? So it becomes 15 3 is 45. So again additional 2 raised to power 2 powers remain, and here. So this way we can write this as 2 raised to power 3 is 8. So 8 raised to power 15 into 2 raised to power 2 into k. So highest power of 8 in 50 factorial therefore is 15. So IGP of 8 is nothing but 15. So this, rather than doing, I mean, solving this, just as a, I mean, concept, I have explained this through these steps. But if I get IGP here, IGP of 2 is nothing but 47. So IGP of 8 would nothing be 47 by 3. Why? Because since 8 is nothing but 2 cube, so what we IGP of 8 will be 47 by 3, the greatest integer function. So which is nothing but 15. 15 is the answer, right? So this is very straightforward. I mean, since total number of twos we have is 47, we want this to be grouped into three twos. So three twos will give us 1 power of 8. So therefore 15 twos will give me, I mean 45 twos will give me 15 powers of 8. What remains is two powers of 2, which is not going to give me any additional 8, so that we remain keep it aside. So 15 is the answer here. Now find the highest power of 24 in 100 factorial. This is another question. So 100 factorial is the number, and we have to find IGP of 24. So 24 is nothing but what, uh, 24 I can write as 2 cube into 3. So this is also a good concept. Let us concentrate over this. So see, we have two prime numbers here now, 2 and 3. So we will find the IGP of both. IGP of 2 will be nothing but 100 by 2 is 50, plus 50 by 2 is 25, 25 by 2 is 12, 12 by 2 is 6, 6 by 2 is 3, 3 by 2 is 1, which is nothing but this I think we had calculated. This comes at 97. Now IGP of 3 also we will calculate. 3. 3 is also a prime number. So this we can 100 by 3, start with 100 factorial. 100 by 3 is 33. We can also do a division method, but since here we can directly do 33 by 3 is 11. 11 by 3 is 3 3 is 9. So 3. 3 by 3 is 1. So here we get IGP of this as 33 plus 11 44, 3 47 plus 1 48, right? So now see, what we want is 24, power of 24. So power of, I mean, we want 24 raised to power x. So basically I again show it through. So n I can write as 2 raised to power 97 into 3 raised to power 48 into some another number. Okay. So this I can write as 2 raised to power 3 raised to power 32 and 3 raised into 48 into additional 2, right? Why additional 2? Because here this 2 raised to power it becomes 96 plus 1 97, and then k. So it becomes 8 raised to power 32 into 3 raised to power 48 into 2k. Now we want a power of 24. So 24 would be 8 into 3, 2 co-primes, 8 into 3. So 8 into 3, maximum power which 8 can have. I mean 3 can have 48, fine, but 8 can only have 32. So limiting factor is 32. So it can have 32, and this rest of the factor of powers of 3 would be 16 here, 2 here, and then k. So what is the maximum power of 24? Is 32. Okay, so from here we can get that IGP of 24 is 32. Right, this is the answer. But we need not have done all this lengthy because this is very straightforward to think here. See what we have got. Since IGP of 2 is 97, so from here can we say IGP of 8 would be 97 by 3, because 8 is nothing but 2 raised to power 3. So here greatest integer function. So this becomes 32, and IGP of 3 is 48. See, we know that 24 is 8 into 3. So what is the maximum power which both 8 and 3 can take, so that the 24 has the maximum power? So maximum power is nothing but 32 only, because 32 is present in both 8 and 3. Powers of 8 is also 32 and 3 is also 32. So therefore IGP of 24 would be nothing but 32. Why not 48? Because if I take 48, then certainly it cannot form 24. 3 is having a power of 48, but 8 can maximum have a power of 32 only, right? IGP is index of greatest power, so maximum 32, it cannot go beyond that. So maximum power which 24 can have is 32. So that is what I mean. We did not do all this just for sake of a clarity and understanding. I have written this. Directly we could have written the answer. IGP of 24 is 32. Now another question here. See here we have to find the highest power of 18 in 101 102. So see n is 101 into 102 into 103 into 104 so on till 150. So can we not write this as 1 into 2 into 3 so on till 100 into 101 into 102 into 103 so on till 150 and divide by 1 into 2 into 3. What we multiplied in numerator, this part, the same part we brought in denominator also, so that there's no impact on the n. So now what happens, n becomes 1 into 3 into 2 into 4 into 100 into 101 till 150. So this becomes 150 factorial, and numerator becomes 1 into 2 into 3 up till 100, it becomes 100 factorial, right? So now this is here. So from here what we will do, we will now calculate the IGP of, and 18 we know is nothing but 2 into 3 square. So IGP of 2 we will first find in 150 factorial. So it will be nothing but 150 by 2 is 75. 75 by 2 will be 37. 37 by 2 will be 18. 18 by 2 will be 9. 9 by 2 will be 4. 4 by 2 will be 2. 2 by 2 will be 1. So this becomes 75 plus this we have to add 75 plus 37 is 112. 112 plus 18 is 130, 139, 143, 145, 146 it comes, I think 146. Now see, so what would be the IGP of 3 in 150 factorial? That would be nothing but when divide 150 by 3. So we'll start by 50 plus 50 by 3 is nothing but 16. 16 by 3 is 5. 5 by 3 is 1. So it gives 5 plus 1 6. 6 16 22. It becomes 62, right? Now we will calculate IGP of 2 in, sorry, 100 factorial. Now denominator 100 factorial. So it becomes 100 by 2. So that we know 97. We have calculated in the previous examples. And IGP of 3 in 100 factorial. 100 by 3 is 33. 33 by 3 is 11. 11 by 3 is 3. 3 by 3 is 1. So it becomes 3 1 4 15. 15 and 38. 33 48. So now see here. So now we have calculated the IGPs of different here. So here what we can write, we can write here that n is equal to 150 factorial upon 100 factorial. I'm doing in a very finer steps so that understanding becomes very clear. So 150 factorial we can write as 2 raised to power 146, right, into 3 raised to power 62, and here IGP of 2 is in denominator would be 97 into 3 raised to power 48, right? So see what would it be. So here it will be 49, 2 raised to power 49 into I mean 146 minus 97 is 49, and here it would be 62 minus 48, so it becomes 12 plus 2 14, right? Any mistake anywhere? No, no, here it's mistake. 15 plus 60, 66 plus 5, 71 plus 1, 72, right? And this is 48, 48. Right. So now see. So here it becomes 72. So this will be nothing but 24. So this is into some another number k. This is n now, right? And here we have to find the highest power of 18. So what will be the highest power of 18? So 18 is nothing but 2 into 3 square. So 2 into 3 square, right? So 18 would be 2 into 3 square. So we can write this as 2, I mean 3 square. So 3 can have maximum power of now here 12. And uh, so maximum power which it can take is 12 now. 18, this is 18. This can take a maximum of 12, right? So IGP of 18 in N is nothing but 12. This should be the answer. Let us once again recheck the calculation mistake if it's there anywhere. So from here we draw a few conclusions that I will come to. IGP of 3 is 72. So 24, right? And here it is 16. Fine. Fine. So 150 factorial we can write this. I mean what we did, we broke 18 into the prime numbers 2 and 3. We individually calculated the highest power of 2 and 3 in both numerator and denominator. Now we know that this we can simplify. So it will be nothing but 2 raised to power 49, and here it becomes 3 raised to power 24. Since we have to find the highest power of 18, so we should just be concerned with which is the limiting factor. 2 has a 49 factors, where I mean 49 powers, whereas 3 has a maximum power of 24. So it becomes limiting on 3 only. So therefore the PGP of 18 in N should be 12 as an answer. Now what are the conclusions we can draw from this example and the previous one? See, a few very interesting conclusions we can draw, that higher the number, lesser would be the power of that. I mean, this is very intuitive also. If suppose uh, in 10 factorial, 7 raised to, I mean, the IGP of 7, let's say be A, and IGP of 5 B, so certainly 7 would come fewer times than 5, because 7 is a bigger number. For example, let us check for 14 factorial. 14 factorial means what? 14 into 13, so on till 1. Here 13 will come only once, whereas 2, another prime number, will come many a time. Similarly, 5 here, 5 will come 2 times, once in 5 and another in 10. So higher the value of the prime number, lower will be the power of that. This is very intuitive. So that is what I mean. We should be very concerned here. We had to check for 18. 18 we know ki 2 into 3. So anyway, since 3 is bigger than 2, so 3 will have a lower power than 2. However, here it's not only 3, it's 9, so it will be even lesser. So we need not have calculated the IGP of 2 and in both numerator and denominator, because the limiting factor would be have been 3 only. So even if we had just calculated the powers of 3 in numerator and denominator, and eventually we could have got the answer from there also. But since we had to just show it from the very basic, we took on the examples, we took on the cases, possible cases. So as a conclusion, we can say larger the prime number, lower will be its IGP in any n factorial. So this is very standard. This quite intuitive also what we have seen here. So using that we could have easily done that, right? And therefore obtain the answer as 12. So now we will see another example. Let me erase this. Yeah, so now we will move to the next question. So here, find the least multiple of 2020 factorial which is perfectly divisible by 101 raised to power 25. So let us see what is this question say. N is 2020 factorial. Okay, and question is asking you what is the, what number, this number should this be multiplied with? Let this be multiplied with k1. So let 2020 factorial be multiplied with k1 such that it is divisible by 101 raised to power 25. So it means, I mean, uh, this is of the form 101 raised to power 25 into some number m, right? So this is what we want to know. So for this we should know ki how many powers does 101 have in 2020 factorial. So we will find the IGP of 101 in 2020 factorial. So see here, it's better to go through the division method. Just check because the number is larger. So to avoid any calculation mistake, we will just do it. So now see here. So this is the here. It will further not be divided. I mean, it will go 0 times, leaving 20 as remainder. So what is the IGP? IGP is nothing but the sum of all the quotients. This is 20 only. So it becomes 20. So it means that 2020 factorial is nothing but 101 raised to power 20 into some k1 something k1. So what does this mean? Ki 2020 has a highest factor power of 101 as 20, but we want it to be a multiple of 101 raised to power 22. So basically we can substitute this in 1. So it will become 101 raised to power 20 into k1 into this k is equal to nothing but 101 raised to power 25 into m. So we have to find k. So k would be nothing but 101 raised to power 25 by 101 raised to power 20 into some m by k1 which is not a multiple of 101, because all the powers of 101 we have taken out, right? So it should be at least be, so k should be 101 raised to power 5. So this should be the answer. It means that at least this 2020 factorial should be multiplied with 101 raised to power 5 such that, so that it becomes divisible by 101 raised to power 25. So this is the answer, right? So so far we have seen what would be the highest factor power of any prime factor. So now we will see some different concept which is on the number of factors of a factorial. So this will build upon the things which we have studied in the chapter session of factors. But again, let us see how do we see this. So we have to find the total number of factors of 20 factorial, right? So 20 factorial is nothing but 20 into 19 into 18 into 17, so on till 1. So what are the prime numbers in this? I mean, which all prime numbers will come? So from, I mean, lower we will start. So 2 is the first prime number which we will get. What is the highest power of IGP of, so 2, IGP would be what? IGP here I will write. So that we can calculate as 20 by 2 is 10, 10 by 2 is 5, 5 by 2 is 2, 2 by 2 is 1. So this we will add to get IGP as 10 plus 5, 15 to 17 plus 1, 18. Then 3, 3 is the next prime number. So 20 by 3 is 6, then 6 by 3 is 2, 2 by 3 is 0. So it will not go further. So this becomes 8. Next prime number is 5, 5, 20 by 5 is 4, and that's it. Then 4 by 5 becomes 0, so it is 4. Then next is 7. So 20 by 7 is 2, right? And that's it. And 2 by 7 becomes 0, so it is 2. Then next is 11. Next prime number. So 11 we can write as 20 by 11 is 1. So I mean only one. Now all other prime numbers 13 also IGP would be 1, right? Because 20 by 13 the quotient is 1, leaving 7 as remainder. Then next prime number is 17. It will also divide one time. Then 19 it will also divide as one time. So here total number, I mean this we can write as, so therefore 20 factorial I can write as 2 raised to power 18 into 3 raised to power 8 into 5 raised to power 4 into 7 raised to power 2 into 11 into 13 into 17 into 9. So therefore we have prime factorized 20 factorial, because we know that to calculate the number of factors of any number we first need to prime factorize that this we have seen in the chapters on factors. So now what would be the number of factors? Number of factors would be nothing but, I mean, if any number n is in the form of p1 raised to power a into p2 raised to power b into p3 raised to power c, so on, where p1 p2 p3 are the prime numbers and a b c are the powers. So number of factors is given by a plus 1 into b plus 1 into c plus 1, so on, right? So number of factors is nothing but a plus 1 into b plus 1 into c plus 1. So I mean we will just add 1 to each of the power and multiply. So 18 plus 1 is 19, 8 plus 1 is 9, 4 plus 1 is 5, 2 plus 1 is 3, then 1 plus 1 is 2, 1 plus 1 is 2, 1 plus 1 is 2, and 1 plus 1. So this is what we get. So now this we will multiply to get the number of factors. Let us see how does I mean what does I will multiply on a calculator, because anyway uh, so this is 19 into 9 into 5 into 3 into 2 into 2 to 4. So it becomes 41040. So these are the number of factors. So many factors exist, including 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I mean, so total number of factors is nothing but this. So this is the way, I mean, we calculate the number of factors. So the idea was not just to find the number of factors, but also learn the process how to prime factorize and write this in a form of uh, powers raised to a different prime numbers. So that we have learned. So another concept now we learn, that is uh, the concept of trailing zeros. right? So this is just a continuation of the other, I mean, the previous thing which we have done to find the number of IGP of any composite numbers. So that is just a extension of the same logic. So here, I mean, I'll start with a very basic. Say, suppose what if I have to find the number of training. By number of training zero, we mean the number of zero continuous zero at the end of the number. So number of training zeros, from here on I write this as tz. So tz we have to find of 25 into 8. So how do we generate a zero? A zero would come only if 1 5 and 1 2 multiply, then it gives 10. So 1 0. If there are 2 5 and 2 2s, then we get 100, meaning we have two zeros at the end. Similarly, for three zeros, we require at least 3 5 and 3 number of twos, then we will have three zeros at the end. So definitely one set of 5 and 2 will produce 1 0, right? So if we have to find the number of trailing zeros in 25 into 8, so 25 into 8 is nothing but 5 square into 2 cube. So here we can have two sets of 5 and 2, right? 5 into 2, because the highest power of 5 is 2, which is limiting. So here this is nothing but 5 into 2 raised to power 2. So here we will have two number of trailing zeros, right? So number of trailing zeros is 2, these two, right? Similarly, had the question be tz of uh, say if we have to find the tz of any other number, say 5 cube into 3 square. So what would be the number of trailing zeros? We know that the trailing zeros comes from one set of 5 and 2, but do we have any 2 here? No. So since we do, I mean, 2 raised to power 0, so I mean that is there's no trailing zero. This number will be, if we just multiply, this is 125 into 9. So 125 into 9 is, I think, 1125. But for sure does not end with 0. So therefore number of trailing zero would be 0. Why 0? This we can directly say because this number does not have any 2. I mean 2 raised to power has a 0. So therefore there will be no trailing zero. For a trailing zero, at least there should be one set of each 2 and 5. So this is the basic concept over this. So now if we have to find the number of trailing zeros in 150 factorial, tz in 150 factorial, number of tz in 150 factorial. So what do we need to, what should we find out? I mean, so we should find out the tens power of 10, right? Power of 10, that is nothing but 2 into 5 raised to power n. That will only give me the number of zeros at the end. So what we need to do, I need to find IGP of 2 in 150 factorial. So it will be 150 by 2, which is 75, then 75 by 2, which is 37, 37 by 2, which is 18, 18 by 2, which is 9, 9 by 2, which is 4, 4 by 2 is 2, 2 by 2 is 1. So this becomes 2 1 3 4 7 9 16 16 34 34 68 71 and 75. So it becomes 146, right? So it becomes 146. And similarly we will find the index of greatest power for 5, because 2 and 5 we should be concerned with. 5, it would be 150 by 5 is 30, 30 by 5 is 6, 6 by 5 is 1. So it becomes 37. So how many sets of 2 and 5 both we can have? I mean, 2 we have enough number of 2s, but 5 we have only 37. So 10 raised to power n can be maximum of 10 raised to power 36, because we have only 5. I mean, this I can write as 2 into 5 raised to power 37, right? So the number of trailing zeros, is nothing but 37. This is the answer. Now see here, since I have done this with very basic in minute steps, but did we should we have found this IGP of 2? Was it required? No, as I discussed some time back, since 2 and 5, two prime numbers are there. So, and we know that 5 is a number which is greater than 2. So, certainly the powers of 5 will be lesser than the powers of 2. I mean, 5 will have lower number of power than the 2 has in 150 factorial, and that would be limiting because we need to consider both the powers. So, we should only find the power of that prime number which we think would be lower, because that will be limiting and that will give the I mean maximum number of uh, 10 which we can have, right? So in that case here we should not have calculated this IGP of 2, because we know ki anyway the powers of 2 will be much more than the powers which 5 has in 150 factorial. We should directly have come to IGP of 5, calculated this, and that would have been the answer, right? So now onwards we'll do the same only. Rather than finding IGP of all the prime numbers, we should be concerned only with those which we think is the limiting one, right? So here we get 37 as answer. Now again we have to find the number of training zeros here. So let us see how to move ahead. So number of training zero in 3600 factorial upon 1200 factorial, right? So what we can do, this we can write as, I mean, we'll find for training zero we should be concerned with 5 only, because there will be many twos, but the number of 5 we have, the same number of 0 we can have, right? So IGP of 5 in 36. So here, I mean, we need to go by division method. So it will be 5 7 are 35, 25, right? Then it will be 5 2 ja 5 8 ja, right? So what would be this summation of this? So this is nothing but 720 plus 140 plus 28 plus 5 plus 1. So summation would be 5 plus 1 6, 34, 34 plus 144 is 186, 28 is 34, 34 plus 144 is 178, 178 plus 720, right? So it becomes 898, right? This is the number of power of 5 in this year. And similarly IGP of 5, and this was in 3600 factorial. Similarly IGP of 5 in 1200 factorial would be what? We divide 1200 with 5, so what would it be? It will be 240. Further divide 240 by 5, it will be 48. Then 5 9 are 45, 5 1 are 5, so this is it. 9 1 10, 58, so it becomes 298, right? So basically what does this mean? This means that n, which is 3600 factorial upon 1200 factorial, this becomes 5 raised to power 898 into some number k1 upon 5 raised to power 298 into some number k2. So this we can write as 5 raised to power, here it becomes 600, 898 minus 298 into k1 by k2 is some another number, say k3. So what is the, how many zeros can we have, trailing zeros? See, we have 600 numbers of 5, and we will have much more number of 2's, because we know that since 2 is lower than 5, 2 will have many more powers than 5. So the maximum, I mean, so number of trailing zeros is nothing but 600, right? So This is the answer here. We'll see one more example and then maybe close this session. So here example says कि we have to find the number of trailing zeros in 150 factorial plus 200 factorial, right? So see here n is 150 factorial plus 200 factorial, so it becomes 150 factorial. We can take common, or before that let us see. So this we can write as 150 factorial, and this we can write as 200 into 199 into 198, so on till 151 into 150 factorial. We can write this, right? So what we have written, we have just expanded this up to 151, and then the rest of the number would be 150 factorial. So here it becomes 150 factorial common 1 for this, and here it becomes 200 into 199 into 198, so on till 150, sorry, 151. So now look, 150 factorial, and what would be this? This number, this number is, see, this part ends with at least 20 here we have, and it will have many more zeros, but at least this is visible. Okay, this part, uh, let me change the ink. So this part at least has 20, because 20 we can clearly see here, and anything added to 20, so the final addition would be some big number dot, sorry, not dot, ending with 01, at least unit digit will be 1 here, right? Because any number which, this number ends with 00 something, and then we add 1, so it will be 1 0 and then all the numbers, right? So now this is a number, so for sure this is not a multiple of 10, because this ends with 1, right? This is not a multiple of 10, so this number is not a multiple of 10, because it ends in 1, right? So whatever the 10 we will get from 150 factorial. So what we will do, we will find IGP of 5 in 150 factorial, right? We will not consider 2, because 2 we will have enough number of 2. So 150 by 5 is 30, 30 by 5 is 6, 6 by 5 is 1. So here we get 37. So therefore number of trailing zeros in 150 factorial plus 200 factorial is nothing but 37. So this is the answer to this question. So broadly this is the generic way in which we solve the questions on the number of trailing zeros and the number IGP, index of greatest power to any prime number. We'll see some more advanced cases on this only in the subsequent session. So thanks for watching this video. Hope it was clear enough.